Okay, yesterday, I'm sure while you were listening to the probe, you possibly heard the Executive Secretary of the PPPRA talking about checks and balances he's trying to introduce in the sector, the 332 system, where independent inspectors go on board the mothership. Because of the fact that we do not have enough ports, they still need the mother-daughter ships, as it were, to come into our ports. Do you think technology can also be introduced there as well, or you actually still need to have physical persons this time around?
No, I think technology can help. If you are able to drop something in the tank, technology-wise, that's going to read the volume of oil that's on your tanker and automatically push the buttons of things that need to happen, such that we don't even need all because when we introduce people, then we give room for corruption. Because if they go on there, and we can't but use people. But when there are too many people involved, then it breeds corruption. Because now I'm giving you my own palliatives for you to not come up and inspect maybe it's even water that I have in the tanks. And if you don't actually go in there, how many people would actually go in and dip and smell and find out exactly what's in the tank? And I'm not saying people are doing that, but when you use technology, you're able to get rid of some of the human effects. Something as simple as dredging, the Atlas,
the ports,
the cove, so that those mother ships can come in, so we don't have to keep hauling and incurring all the we don't add value when we store, whether we're storing it on the barge on the ocean or we're storing it at the ports. Value is not added, so that's waste, that's a leakage. So if we can get to almost a just-in-time process, you're coming in, you're zooming in, we could weigh, we could have scales, that would be underwater. We subtract what the barge weighs, and it gives us a total volume of what's in it in terms of liquid. So all sorts of technology could be put in place to help us.
But in terms of plugging the leakages, some of these Nigerians who are out there, who perhaps you might have spoken with, what do they see? Do they see an opportunity to come back here and help the country, or do some of them see an opportunity to come in and help themselves, given what's going on in the sector now?
I want to say, those in my circle, I don't know about anybody else, want to come back to help. Take someone like me, for example. I've been, sojourned abroad for 25 or more years. I have served the people of the United Kingdom. I have served the people of the United States. And finally, I want to come back and serve the people of Nigeria. I actually had people advise me, why don't you go to Ghana? It's probably going to be easier for you to adjust. And I'm like, no, I didn't go all over the world, get an education, get all the experience, only to go and benefit somebody else's country. So a lot of the people that I know want to come. In fact, a lot of them are, pretty much back. Some of them, 6 months here, 6 months over there. Some of them a year here, a year over there. Trying to make a difference in this country. And once we've accomplished over there, when you come here, you're not trying to, help yourself. For me, it's about helping the people. It's about helping the next generation.
If the government wanted to reach out to them, how would you suggest they go about it? Because sometimes, it may sound unbelievable, but they can't get access to them.
Well, it takes one to find one. You start a network, of Nigerians overseas that are willing and able, and then you create an enabling environment for them to come into. it can be frustrating. I mean, I had an experience with an organization shortly after I came back, and I was totally frustrated because I'm thinking, this is not the way things should be done.
Speaking of which, one wonders, because I mean, there are those who will face that kind of frustration and then they say, no, I'm not having this, and then they get back and just take off. Now we know, identify the fact that we need to build institutions here. How easy or difficult do you think it will be? Because even if you change one person who's at the helm of affairs, will that have effect? Will it trickle down and ensure that everybody else just fits in line?
Well, it should. If we lead by example, if we put people in place who are going to be people of integrity and people who would earn the trust of their constituencies, then it is possible. And I have a motto. It's changing the world one person at a time. If I can change just one person, and that one person changes another person, it has a multiplier effect. So we're not going to think the whole system is corrupt, and so there's nothing we can do about it. Throw up our hands. So, but if we bring, and it boils down to good leadership, good governance. If we can bring people in who have the heart to move this country forward, who are loyal to this country. That's one thing you have to know about the average American, for example. Their loyalty to their country is surpasses anything. And until we start being loyal to this country and what concerns it and her people, then we're not going to get anywhere.
So after this, sorry, Mark, after the probe, what would you like to see?
I would like to see things really happening. Transparency. You guys complained about this. This is what we have done about it. This is the outcome. You guys complained about that. This is what we have done about it. This is the outcome. Yes, we've been successful, or no, we have not been successful. These are the problems we're still having. Could you people help us? So we can, this fuel subsidy thing could have been better managed. You could get it to a point where people are asking the government, okay, so what can we do to help? I've worked in an organization before where we needed to restructure. And the leadership had to take pay cuts first. My president took a 20% pay cut. And those of us who are his vice presidents, took 10% pay cuts, and the rest of the organization took 1% pay cut. Some of those who took the 1% pay cut came to us and said, wow, you guys are taking 20% and 10%. I can afford to give up another percent if you guys need it so that we can keep this afloat. Until we get to that point, we're not going to make major progress.
But how would you suggest? You listened to the debate while the fuel subsidy was going to be removed. But how would you have suggested that the government transit from importation alone and revive that middle sector between the upstream and the downstream?
Well, I would. Even though people are saying doing it piecemeal is not going to be helpful, I disagree. Well, we're doing it piecemeal now, but the reason I disagree is if you trust is like money. You deposit it into an account. So when the people can trust you, then they'll take whatever you say. So what I would have done was to take a little, work with it, show them that I am responsible, that I am accountable, that I am transparent, such that when I take something from you, you know that I'm giving you something better. It may be difficult now, but because you trust me, then you're going to go along with me. But we have not built that trust. So we can't just in one fell swoop go from 65 naira to 141. But bridge the gap, take the money, do something, come back and report. This is what we've done with the subsidy that we took. Could we please have more?
So you think we're on track?
If. Remember I said it's fraught with a lot of ifs. If we do the right things, if we do things the way we're supposed to do it, I think we're on track.
Okay, but is it also fraught with a lot of ifs? Because in the life of an administration, if they've got 4 years, when is it too late to seek that trust, especially if you have to achieve before you get off?
I mean, this country especially, they are so, the Nigerian people are so wonderful, long-suffering, resilient, such that it takes very little to, build trust with them. And if you've done it before, and you do a little bit at a time, they will come to trust you. But for me, if I was going to do this, it actually gives me, as a politician, the opportunity to come back next time, because I'm taking this and making it work.
Yeah.
You're seeing the results, and so when I get to the 3rd year, I'm telling you, actually, this process should have taken about 5 years, if you ask me. Do the things right. Come in, put energy-saving cars in place, put alternative energy sources in place, because oil is the bedrock of this economy, right down to the municipalities that we call families. I mean, because we as families are municipalities on our own. We supply water, we supply power, we supply security. So if I can put something in your pocket that's going to help your municipality to weather this storm, while I do something to make your life better, you're going to see that we're making progress. So the 3rd year, when I'm coming up for re-election, I'm going to say, look back 2 years. What do you see? You see progress? Why don't you give me another chance, to come in the next 4 years and do it?
Well, as you say, fraught with a lot of ifs, because some out there don't see any reason why they should pay tax, because they say, I am my own local government, I pay for everything, so why should I pay any taxes to the government? But that's just an aside. But looking at all of this, because politics, there are those who always see politics as, no, it's not for me, it's dirty. And at the end of the day, if good people don't go in there, what they have, some say they deserve what they get. What do you suggest be done to attract people to come in, good people to come in and say, listen, I have to contribute my lot to make sure this is better, as opposed to just sitting back and talking about it?
People shouldn't take just anybody that's put before them for office. We should probe those individuals that come up for office.
Like look into the background,
absolutely,
the history.
Yes, please. What have you done to benefit your environment or your community? Where is that fire in your belly for this cause that you're asking people to entrust you with? What drives you? How much money do you now make such that we can monitor you? If you start amassing wealth, then we know to kick you out. So people have, you have to prove yourself. You have to be probed. So it's not a question of, the party is putting, X, Y, and Z up, for a position. Okay, fine. Who is this person? Other parts of the world, right down to the state of your health, is what people are going to look at. Are you healthy? Or are you going to get there and then you're going to die on us, and then we're going to have, a whole other problem on our hands? And how do we then get able leadership? If such a thing happens. So your medical records, your financial records, your work history, your affiliations, should be probed before you come in and lead our people.